welcome to I Caught It on Audio. This is Water Cooler Chat Episode 9, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Part 3.
Welcome back to the 64 Tacos podcast. We're doing another water cooler podcast series about the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show on Disney Plus. This episode is going to be about Part 3, the third episode in the 6-episode series. And this episode is about Obi-Wan and little Leia. They're stuck on an Imperial mining planet, and Lord Vader is in hot pursuit. This episode it wasn't quite as grabbing, I think, as the previous two episodes, and I think that's on purpose. You know, those two episodes were really to get you hooked, get the meat hooks into you, and keep you watching the series. This one was a little bit different, and it's okay. I mean, I like it when they kind of slow things down a little bit. I really liked the Freck character, how they did that one, and the I could have done without a little bit of the whole fight scene between Obi-Wan and Vader. I thought that was a tad pointless. And then I thought it was kind of interesting. The Reva character, I think she's probably the most interesting character of the series. How she's sort of like, you know, offered the Grand Inquisitor title from Darth Vader, and she's potentially very worthy for that because she's very good at hunting her prey. So, what did you think about this one, Matt?
I really liked the first half a lot better than the second.
Yeah.
So the first half where they're on the planet and they meet Freck, and Obi-Wan doesn't want to wait at the rendezvous point because
yep.
He's worried he'll be betrayed again. I really liked that. I liked the little ride in the truck, Freck's truck, and the Imperial stormtroopers. I liked how friendly he was with them.
Right.
And how he would turn strangers over to the Empire. I'm sure your life is just a lot easier if you fall in line, you know?
Yep.
Really liked that. Really liked when the troopers showed up in that transport and their officer shot them all in the back.
Yep.
That was an awesome part. And then going into the safe house. And then the episode started going down for me.
Yeah.
I liked the little conversation with Vader had with Reva, is it?
Yeah, Reva.
Reva. That was cool, but it's too early. If this is 6 episodes we're going to watch.
Right. Yep. We're halfway through.
Episode 3 is too soon for Vader and Kenobi to meet, especially with how they parted ways. Like,
right.
It just, so now we've got, it went from me being under the impression that they hadn't seen each other since their battle on Mustafar. When they meet on the Death Star in episode 4. Right. But now they're going to have met multiple times, and Vader is like burning Obi-Wan. I don't get that. You're coming way too close to messing up the continuity.
Yeah, I would have much rather liked more of a slow burn kind of build up and just kind of like teasing and like, oh, he's almost there. He's almost gotcha.
Well, Vader could be there. Obi-Wan just needs to get away before Vader shows up.
Right.
That's how it needs. I did like when Vader showed up and he's torturing and killing the people.
Yep.
In the street. Like, yeah, that's what leads to people rebelling against the Empire, you know?
Yep.
So that was cool. I liked that part, but the fight scene also, I don't know if this bothered you, but when they got their lightsabers lit up, it looked like they had a filter on there or something to like add extra blue or red. Right. And it was a little bothersome to me.
It was, and because of the nighttime environment, it can be a kind of cool effect where like the lightsaber is the only thing that's lighting up the area, but it did feel like it was a little too much, and I think that was also tying into the fact that we were kind of in awe, like, why are they having a lightsaber fight right now? I think it just, a lot of that second half didn't work from a story point, and from also, just the things that had come before and the things that we're expecting to come, or we know to come, continuity wise later on, that it just kind of lost me.
There was one part that kind of took me out a little bit, and it wasn't anybody's fault really, but before Obi-Wan meets up with Vader and they're in where they got the piles of rocks or whatever, Obi-Wan takes off and he runs to the right of the screen.
Right.
And then the very next scene, he comes and he's running from the right.
Right.
And so I thought he ran away from Vader and was like, oops, nope, wrong way, and coming back.
Yeah. It was a little bit disorienting how they cut it together. And I don't know. I mean, it's fine and all, but it's sort of like, okay, now what are we going to do? Going forward, is Obi-Wan going to be just like inside of a bacta tank for like an episode or something and having dreams about, I mean, actually that I'm going to say it right here. I'm predicting that I think that the next episode is just going to be Obi-Wan in a bacta tank, just like the Book of Boba Fett. And he's going to be dreaming about the past, and it's all just going to be, him and Hayden Christensen, young Anakin, before things kind of went awry, or maybe while things were going awry. I hope to be wrong about that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I did really like the Freck character and how that whole transport thing happened. And like immediately when they make a point to show that back, that thing, the symbol of the Empire on the back,
the flag,
yeah,
the Empire flag, yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is going to be good. One way or another, this is going to be good, And then they get up there and they're just kind of like shooting the shit, and it's like, whatever, it's not a big deal. Yeah. And then he picks up the stormtroopers and they get on there, and you're like, oh, okay, this is getting tense. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but stormtroopers are idiots, and they're not going to be able to put two and two together here. And at one point when he says Leia instead of Luma, I think was her fake name.
Yeah.
When he says Leia, and they're like, wait a second, you're kind of like, oh crap, they've been found out. And then just a simple little talking about it. I was actually surprised that Obi-Wan didn't use his force power to like just convince them that this isn't the Jedi you're looking for.
He looks like he's out of practice with the force.
Yep.
Like he looks like Vader just mopped the floor with him,
yeah.
And he used to be more powerful than Vader.
Yep.
Like him and Anakin were pretty equally, but Obi-Wan's one thing that gave him the edge on Anakin was he had like more control.
Yeah.
It was not as, Obi-Wan has somewhat of a plan a lot of times, and Anakin just flies by the seat of his pants.
Right. And apparently that flies him into a gym, because he's constantly like ripped and honed all of his powers and everything. And I'm glad that they didn't do a montage of Darth Vader, like an 80s montage of him working out and like testing his force powers and stuff like that. Although that would have been awesome.
I think that needs to be done now.
Yeah.
Get one of those 80s like fight songs going.
Yep.
Get some Rocky music going.
Yeah. That'll be the Darth Vader series, specifically just Darth Vader. All right, so let's wrap this up. What do we think is gonna, other than my absurd idea of him being in a bacta tank? Oh, and the one thing we didn't touch on too much was spoiler alert: Leia's been captured by Reva.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was the very tail end of the episode.
Yeah, very very subtle. Like she got in there, and then she's like, "Oh, well, you're coming with me now," I don't know. I guess we'll see next Wednesday.
This is where if you used a different kid, somebody who's not in the Star Wars world, you could have built a lot more tension.
Right. Yeah, and it could have been a smart, cool kid, just like little Leia. Like the way they've written this, the Leia character and the person that they got to the little girl they got to play her,
who's been amazing. Like that girl is just an amazing actress for her age.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do like a Leia spinoff and just had it be her only.
We can follow her Senate career as she writes bills and debates.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I just, whenever I approach these types of things, I come at it with this sort of cynical, like, what is Disney, the powerhouse company, going to do with this thing? Because I mean, the same sort of thing kind of happened with Grogu and The Mandalorian. I mean, they knew what they had going into that, but then they sort of expanded upon that. And there are times in the series, whether it's Mandalorian or even Boba Fett, that they brought Grogu in, and it was like, yeah, they're doing this because, for whatever reason, the storytelling kind of waned out, and they had to sort of get people back into it with the little baby Yoda character. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think she's a really good actress and a good character, and a spinoff series would probably make a whole lot of sense if they had little adventures that are not too big. But I think the problem with the story writers is that they're like, oh, we got to do the biggest things. We got to have this be about saving the whole galaxy. The rebels are saving everything. And it's like, no, you don't. You can do little tiny stories and focus on little things, And on that note, I think we'll wrap this episode up, and we'll see you next time with episode 4.
I caught it on audio.